Hello, Andrea St. Amand here, talking angels. I've had some interesting stuff I've shared with you guys lately, right? So first of all, I want to start, I just want to acknowledge that communicating with angels, and there are people out there who only communicate with angels. They're not psychics, they're not mediums, they're only communicating with angels and giving you messages. But I've always been a little skeptical, not of those people, they have their own thing, but just for me, I've been just skeptical. I had one encounter with the Archangel Michael and Christ when I was 23, and it was not a touchy-feely, lovey, everything's okay experience. It was a very profound, powerful experience that I witnessed, and I've done another video on that, and I'll go over that experience again another time. But I knew it was real. I came out of the experience going, holy cow, like Michael and Christ are real. They're not just these mythical beings that we've heard about. They're real beings. So I do know from my own experience, angels exist and Christ exists as a real thing, not just a legend. But as a psychic and as a former lawyer, of course, when I'm giving readings, I want to be really evidence-based. I want to prove it. So am I giving you a reading? I want you to be able to like, yep, that was me. Yep, that I want to give you enough evidence that you know that I'm connected directly in with your soul. And in the mediumship reading, I want to give enough evidence that you know I'm connecting directly with a soul. And the famous great medium Mavis Patilla, who is very old school and 79 years old, she even, like with angels, she said, prove it. She's a very evidence-based. And she even says she didn't believe, I mean, she believed in the possibility of angels, but in terms of communication, she was always like, well, just prove it, prove it. So I think, like, even though those of us who are working in woo and working in communicating with other beings all the time, there's still like some realms of beings that not all of us communicate with until we have our own experience with them. So here's what I've been told, because before I give you this experience, I want you to know what was in my mind, what my frame of reference was going into this experience. What I've been told, so I was raised Christian, I was raised Methodist, but Methodists, we're not holy rollers, and I didn't pay much attention growing up to my Bible study. So I knew nothing about angels other than they are creatures in the Bible. That's it. I couldn't name one to save my life. So there's that. And then in my training, my psychic and mediumship and training, it's just been put in my head that there are these layers of beings out there that we can connect with, and some people connect with other beings more easily than others. So some people are really, really great psychics. Other people connect more easily with dead people, with our deceased loved ones. Some people are animal communicators. Some people connect more easily with aliens. They don't like to be called aliens, by the way, but intergalactic beings, beings that are incarnated in other dimensions or in other places other than Earth, but they are physically incarnated. And I've had one experience with high council. I can't prove it to you. It's just my own wacky experience. It was pretty amazing. And then the angel realm, and then of course there's our guides, our spirit guides. I have been told that here's our guides. I always picture them right hovering around me. Here's our guides that are getting us through this life, and kind of behind them are our outer guides who are more ascended, and they're more responsible for other people, not just you. Like, our personal guides are only responsible for us. Then there's this outer circle, and y'all might have been told something different. This was my frame of reference. And then there are the angels, and then there's the archangels, and they're busy. So your guardian angel, leave them alone, because that guy's busy trying to keep you alive and safe. Like, that's not somebody we really want to be in touch with and bothering. So any of the angels, though, I've been like, they're really busy, you just kind of leave them alone. So what I had been told then about the angels too is that they've never incarnated as humans. And everybody I said it to, you like, yeah, that's the angel rule. They've never been in a human incarnation for an entire lifetime. They might pop down and pop back up. But so that's in my head. And that's definitely fit my encounter with Michael, because he was a very different presence than Christ, who was a very still human, even though he's obviously an ascended master and is amazing. But the beings felt very different to me. So if you guys watched the video that I did last week or a week or so ago about a friend of mine who channels souls, And those are true souls. They were incarnated as human beings. And I have access to those souls, and I can channel them as well. And I got a message from them. Well, I shared the video that I didn't hear with you. I shared that video in my spiritual business group. We have a group of folks who we keep each other going. And a woman in there reached out to me, and she's a shaman. So she has her own abilities with earth, but she's not a psychic and she's not a medium. And she had this random man come up to her. He's not random, somebody she knew. But he reads angels, and he said, would you like to know the angels that work with you and that are, you might be tapping into their energy? And she said, oh, sure, why not? And she wasn't even sure she believed in angels. And he said, the Archangel Sandalphon is your angel. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. The Archangel Sandalphon is your angel. So she reached out to me after she had seen my video, and she said, would you tap into my energy? Can you see if this is accurate and who this is? And why have I been assigned to this? What's the message? And I said, I'm not the angel expert. I don't do this. There's lots of people out there who do angel stuff. I do more evidence-based readings. And she said, that's why I trust you. Would you try it? She goes, that's why I'm asking you to do this, because I'll trust whatever you come up with. So I was like, sure, thanks for giving me the opportunity. So I did a reading. I started going in through her, and immediately another being was there. And I got grabbed back here, like right at the top, right there, right where your wings might sprout, right here and right here in the back of the corner of my head. And I was pulled like backwards, just totally backwards. And I could see the woman who had asked me to read her shrinking. Like I was given a vision of her like on earth. And I could feel like I was ascending backwards up through all of the dimensions. And I got the word ascension and an ascended being. And I knew that an angel had me. I was like, holy cow, this is like, I've got an ascended being here. This is the coolest thing ever. But then I got an immediate image in my head of a human. And I started getting a mediumistic connection, which meant this being that I was in touch with had been incarnated as a human being. And I started getting evidence of that being's life on earth. I got a description of what, it was very male energy. I got a description of what he looked like. And frankly, between you, I'm not sure angels are male or female. I'm not sure why they would be one energy or the other and not both. I mean, I don't know. That seems like a human incarnation thing. And if angels aren't supposed to be incarnated, I don't know. So I'm like, why is it male and why is it this person? It's a human. This was a human. And I could see the clothes he had on and all that stuff. And I was like, well, maybe she's not in touch with an angel. Maybe she's actually in touch with an ascended being. There's an ascended being who's trying to communicate with her. So I stayed with it. And I definitely had a wonderful connection with spirit. And I got a message for her. It was very concise. It was very much on point. I got validating information. So she, about something about her past. So she knew I was in contact with somebody. And then I came out of that, wrote everything down. I mean, the information was coming so fast, I wasn't going to remember any of it. So I wrote everything down. And then the being said, and by the way, the word creature came across my brain, and I instantly got connected. Like, I'm not a creature, I'm a being. And I was like, ooh, okay. And he said, now go research me. So I hadn't done, of course, any research on the Archangel Sandalphon. He said, now research. And when I went to research him, the Wikipedia entry, of course, pulled up first, and for some reason I didn't go there. I went to something else caught my eye, and I went to another website that just had a flash of who each angel was. And the Archangel Sandalphon is the twin brother of Metatron, the only two archangels in history who had spent an entire life incarnated as a human being before being ascended, past ascended master, past ascended being, but literally ascending all the way up to archangel status. So I was like, woohoo! That was awesome. That was so awesome. And I've still been in touch with this being. I've gotten real personal guidance, which is a bit shocking. The other thing I got from him, and I'll tell you just a little bit more about him because now I know about, he was a warrior angel. That's why I posted that picture of this gorgeous man. Let me go back to and give you what this felt like for me, because angel energy for me isn't like this love energy. I felt, though, so safe. I had this safety in the gut of my stomach. Like, I don't know, it was just his authority was so strong, and I just knew I needed to do whatever the heck he told me I needed to do, and that I was really safe, and that it was real. It was just this grounded, and the word grounded kept coming too. He's a very grounded angel. So in legend here, or what people know about Sandalphon, is that he is because he was incarnated as a human being, he is the angel that is the messenger. He is in like the tree of life in the Kabbalah, like under it. He is the grounded angel, the one that is our connection between earth and other dimensions, heaven in the Bible. He is also, because I kept getting all this music, this beautiful, amazing music, he is supposedly heaven's choir director. How wonderful is that? So he's the one maybe sending music in terms of messages to us. And I get musical messages all the time that I get for clients. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. The other thing I want to share is that we can learn to communicate with other souls psychically, with deceased loved ones mediumistically, with other dimensional beings who are currently incarnated, and that's like a whole other different vibrational rate, but we call them, aliens. We can do that, and we can communicate with angels, of course. So the higher our vibration rate gets, or wherever our vibration rate needs to be, where we tune in to connect with these beings, we can do that. And the hardest part is getting out of our own way, so we actually trust the communication and getting the skills so we know how to communicate back and forth and can get messages and do that. So I don't teach angel stuff, obviously, because I don't have enough experience to do that. And if anybody is really interested in really doing a deep dive on angels, I have 2 people that do that, so I'll refer you to them. But the underlying thing with all of that is really, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face, is learning enough intuition so you trust your intuition and you get skills so you know what you're communicating with, which is really cool. So reach out to me when you're ready to do that, or take my intuition course coming up next fall. Next winter. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for letting me share this with you. And angel strength to everybody. They have our backs. They literally have our backs. Okay. Bye.